more importantly, it stops enzymes that would otherwise cause the veg to spoil, even in the freezer. If you've had a bumper harvest of veggies like I have, you're probably wondering, what do I do with all these veggies, in this case beans, before they go bad? G'day, I'm Mark from Self-Sufficient Me, and in this video I'm going to show you the simple way I freeze veggies like beans, carrots and potatoes to lock in that freshness and enjoy them for months or even over a year to come. Let's get into it. Now when I say freeze, I want to be clear, I don't just mean bung them in the freezer. There's more to it to lock in that freshness and let them last longer and taste better than you think. It's not hard, it's just that if you miss a particular step, you're not going to get the value out of the crop that you deserve for working hard to facilitate such a wonderful harvest. So let's break this down into 7 quick steps. First of all, congratulations, you've just got a big harvest in something. And freezing happens to be one of the fastest and easiest ways you can preserve that food so that it just doesn't go off in storage, in your crisper, and essentially waste those beautiful nutrients and food for you and your family. Step 2 is washing and sorting. You want to, of course, give these things a wash. Even if you're growing organically, you don't know if a bat's flown over and peed on your crop or there's going to be dirt on them. You might have dug them out of the ground, so of course you're going to have to give them a good tub. While you're giving them a wash, you might as well sort out anything that's already gone rotten or has some bites in it from insects, things that might make that veg go off quicker. All those offcuts can be fed to the chickens or put in the compost. Step 3 is preparing your veg. You might want to snap the ends off your beans. You could peel and slice your carrots, dice your potatoes into uniform chunks so they cook evenly later. Now for step number 4, which is probably the most crucial, and that's blanching. This means boiling your veg for a short time, usually 1 to 3 minutes, then plunging them straight into cold water to stop the cooking process. Blanching helps to preserve colour, flavour and texture, but more importantly, it stops enzymes that would otherwise cause the veg to spoil, even in the freezer. Think of it like hitting the pause button on the veg for decaying and breaking down. It keeps them fresher and it'll make them taste better for longer. If you skip blanching, your frozen beans or carrots might turn mushy, discoloured or lose flavour in a short period of time in the freezer. Step number 5 is the pre-freeze. Once the veggies have cooled, drain them well and spread the veg out on a tray lined with baking paper. Most of the time I'll just put it straight into a clean freezer tray, and the baking powder is optional, but I just find that the laying of that down when it comes to gathering the veggies up once they have frozen, it's much easier. It's not stuck to a freezer tray or some other tray surface. You can easily just pull it up using the baking paper. It all just comes away and you can collect them nice and easy. If you don't spread them out and you just freeze them straight into a freezer bag, you're going to find you're going to have this big clump or ice block of frozen veg, which isn't a great way to start. It's harder then to cook with, and it's harder to separate if you only want to cook with a smaller portion. You want to leave them for about 24 hours in the freezer, all separated like that, laid out, so that they get frozen solid before the next step. And step number 7 is bagging and storage. And that's transferring your frozen laid out veggies, breaking them up and putting them into freezer bags or a freezer box or whatever you want to use, some type of container. And you want to do this, of course, so that you're not going to get freezer burn on those veggies. You're going to protect it somewhat from the cold now that they are frozen. If you want, you can label the bags, you can write the date. Your frozen veg should last up to 12 months. Look, some of our carrots are 18 months old. We've eaten frozen stuff that, you know, depending on what it is, can last longer than 12 months, but typically, you know, most people say and most professionals say up to 12 months for frozen veggies. You can freeze most veggies. I wouldn't try it for leafy veggies like, please don't try lettuce. That's a given. We should all know that. But you could do spinach if you prepared it properly. You'd have to slice and dice it up, blanch it, and then pack it away. And you could only use it to put into, say, quiches or make a spinach roll or something out of it. It'd be really good. And you often see that in the supermarket, where you could grow a whole heap of spinach, so easy to do, and then just freeze it up yourself and keep using it. Plenty of great nutrients. Frozen food doesn't lose a lot of its nutrients. It's very small lossage over time, especially if you eat it before the 12 months. So it's a really great way to preserve food. And it's a good way to save money and save time later on. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a big blanched thumbs up and share it around. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye for now. Cheers.